Hi everyone! So today I'm going to start a tutorial and we're going to make this beautiful blanket. Um, it has the chevron pattern and it goes in between the whites, the grays, and the blues, and then it just repeats itself over and over again. So I'm going to teach how to make the blanket itself, and then I'm also going to teach how to make a little baby elephant to be able to pull the tail of mommy elephant. Aren't they so cute? I did that! Isn't that cute? It's adorable. I love them. So I am going to show one video on making the blanket itself, changing the color pattern. Depending on whether or not you're new or not, I'll try to go a little bit slow in the beginning and then speed up the process. And I will do separate tutorials on mommy and baby elephant. Pretty much once you've done mommy, baby is so easy because it's pretty much you just take out a couple steps. So super easy, fun to do. I did this blanket in a week and I work a full-time job, so easy, and it's a great pattern even for beginners, to be completely honest. All you gotta do is learn a couple basic stitches and then just keep repeating. So good luck guys, enjoy! Okay guys, so today we're going to learn how to make the actual back blanket itself, and we're going to work a chevron pattern. You're going to, for this blanket, what I did was I would do 6 white and then 3 of a color, 6 white again, and then switch the color, and then I rotated between the blues and the grays. So I will show you how to get started on this beautiful blanket. Okay guys, so the blanket that we're getting started on, I am using the Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo size. The color that I'm going to be using for this blanket is soft white. I will also be using black and gray. I'm using a darker gray for mine, and then the blue that I have is also, it's Bernat Super Value, and the color, where is it at? Oh, Sky is Sky. It's hiding from me. Alright, so go ahead and get a crochet hook 5mm H, and what we're going to do to start the blanket is we're going to do a slip stitch. So this is how I do my slip stitch. I yarn over twice, I pull the back over and then grab the new backing and then pull my finger up through to create the loop. And after you start, you're going to chain the width of the blanket. So for me, I did a twin/toddler size blanket and I chained 164. So if you want just a baby blanket for this pattern, I would probably only do about 100. If you want bigger than that, what I would recommend doing is chain as many as you want the width of your blanket to be. Go up, lay it on the bed that you want. This blanket does not have a border on it, so make sure that from the chain all the way over that's the width that you want your blanket to be. And so when you chain, we do 1, grab your yarn 2, grab your yarn 3, grab your yarn 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, a little bit closer to the camera for the new people, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'm going to pause here and we will meet back up when you've done 164 or however many that you're actually going to do for your own blanket. Okay guys, so I chained 167 and I chained a few extra, and the reason why is that when you do your blanket, you will do a ton of chains based on how big you want your blanket width to be. but sometimes we chain too many because the pattern has to end at a certain stitch. So I wanted to show you how you can take out stitches without feeling like you need to unravel your entire blanket. So I chained over the amount. So that might be something that you want to do to be on the safe side if you're just measuring out your blanket, because 164 would be the exact amount to make sure that you end on the down slope of the chevron pattern, which ends up like a triangle. And so you want to end up where you have a chain 3 up here, and then you chain down enough where you're going to turn up and turn your work. So again, you can do exactly the same size of the blanket that I'm doing, or you might want to just chain a few extra chains to be on the safe side. You can even chain up to 20 extra chains. Just make sure that you know where you stop. You don't want too big of a blanket if you want a certain size. So you can see that we're going to, you have chain 1, 2, 3. This is your 4th stitch. So we are going to do a double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook. So loop over your yarn, and again that was 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. So yarn over and go through that hole and pull through, and pull through. That's a double crochet. And then we're also going to do this a total of 7 times. So that was 1, yarn over, go through the next hole, pull through, pull through, pull through. So then we're going to go into the next chain. Oh, sorry, too high. So then we're going to go into the next chain. You're going to yarn over, and you're going to go through the hole, and you're going to pull through, pull through, pull through, yarn over, go through the next one, pull through, pull through, pull through, yarn over, go through the next one, pull through, 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 yarn over, go through the next one, another, let's see how many that is. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have one more, and 7. Okay, so now in the next stitch we're going to do 3 double crochets in the very same stitch. So the next one over, you're going to do 3 of those in the same stitch. So there's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, and then 3 double crochets, all in the same stitch. Now you're going to do 6 double crochets going down the next 6 chains. You're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so you can already see that you have a little bit of a start on your chevron point, and then you have your angle that goes down. So now we're going to do a decreased triple crochet, and how that works is you yarn over and you go through the next stitch, and you're going to pull the yarn through and through. You're going to yarn over again. You're going to go through the next stitch. You're going to pull the yarn through, grab your yarn and pull it through the 2 loops. Then you're going to go through a 3rd stitch. You're going to grab your yarn. You're going to pull it through the first 2, okay? And now see you have 4 loops on your yarn, or on your hook. You're going to pull the yarn through all 4 loops, okay? So, and then we're going to do 6 more double crochets in the next 6 chains. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you're going to do 3 double crochets in the next chain. And that's 3. And then you're going to do 6 double crochets in the next 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to do that decrease again. I'm going to go over real slow, okay? So you have the next 3 chains that you're going to work in. So you're going to yarn over. You're going to go through the first chain, grab your yarn and pull it through. Grab the yarn again and pull through the 2 loops. Leave 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again. So now you have 3. Go through the next loop. Grab your yarn and pull through. Grab the yarn and pull through the first 2 loops. Leave 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over. That's going to create 4. Go through the 3rd loop, or the 3rd chain, pull through. Grab your yarn and pull through the first 2. Now that leaves 4 on your hook. Grab the yarn and you're going to twist and pull it through all 4 of those loops. Okay? So you can see the pattern is starting to look the zigzag pattern. You've got the 3 at the top. You have your decrease at the bottom. You have your 3 at the top, your decrease at the bottom, with 6 double crochets in between the one at the top and the one that decreases. And then you just keep repeating that. So again, when you started out, you had 7, and then you had your 3 double crochets in the same chain. Then you had 6 double crochets. Then you had your triple crochet decrease. And then you had 6 more double crochets. Then you had 3 double crochets in the same space, 6 double crochets, and then your triple crochet decrease. And you're going to repeat this pattern all the way until the very end where we will pick up. Okay guys, so what we're going to do is we are at the very end of our row, and you can see that you have done multiple of the exact same thing. Make sure that it goes up, down, up, down, up, down, and that you have 6 double crochet in between each of your clusters. So we are actually at the very end, and you have 3 double crochets in the same space, and then we're going to do 6 double crochets in the next 6 spaces. So you're going to come down and you're going to finish just a little bit for the end, and then we'll chain and turn. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 3 double crochets, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to do a double crochet decrease. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to go into the next space, and you're going to pull through and pull through, but you're not going to go all the way through. So you're going to leave 2 loops, yarn over, go through the next one, pull through, and then you're going to pull through all 3 loops, and then you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to turn your work. Now, the reason that I told you to do a whole bunch of extra ones, just to be on the safe side, so that, you know, once you've done this and see how it kind of zigzags a little bit, it's going to take a little bit of the width out, so you can go lay it on your blanket and, you know, on your bed, and then decide if your blanket is wide enough for your bed. So basically, if you want to go ahead and stop, you have to stop on the downward. So you have to have the point here and then go down the 6 and then end in a double crochet decrease. So you have to have enough to do another, you know, it would have to be a triple double crochet or triple decrease, and then it would be another 6, chain 3 in the same space, and then 6 down. So you need to make sure that you have enough chains for that. So what I have done is, so instead of counting all your chains and you just make sure that you have enough, you can't add chains, but you can always take them away. So where you see that you did your little slip knot, I'm going to make my hole a little bit bigger so I can put that down. So, if let's say you thought you counted that you did 164 chains, but here, you did a couple extra. Extra is fine because you can always take away extra. But if you do not have enough, you cannot add enough chains, and then your blanket's going to be all off. So just make sure that you chain more than what you need and never less. So make sure that when you make your slip knot that you don't make it too tight. I think I made mine a little bit tighter than what I usually do because it's coming, but it's not coming real strong. And it's okay if it frays a little bit because you're going to chop that off anyways or work it into your work. There we go. So I pulled it through, and then you can pull it through the next one. And then you can pull it through the next one. So you're almost kind of unraveling it. But the best part is as soon as you reach your work, it is going to tie itself into a knot, and I'll show you. So the only reason why I did this is just because if you accidentally chained too many, you do not have to start your work over because you had too many chains. You can just undo these. Like I said, I did this on purpose just so I could show you how to unravel it. And then, see, I'm at the very last one, and then I'm just going to pull it tight. And then you will sew this into your work. This is your beginning tail. So then you'll sew this and hide it in your work. And then that way your work can never become unraveled. So after you do your 2 chains, you're going to turn your work. You're going to skip the very first space. So let's see. So right here is my chain 2. You can see that very first space on that double crochet. You're going to skip that space and you're going to work in the second space, and you're going to do a double crochet in that second space. And then you're going to do 6 more double crochets. So you're going to do 7 double crochets on your ends, but you're only going to do 6 double crochets in between your clusters. So at the very end, that's where you'll have your 7 double crochets. And it just gives your blanket that little bit more of a point. And then, okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am going to work, I have come up to my first 3 double crochets and 1 chain on the last round. So you're going to work 3 double crochets in that middle double crochet. So it should be in that next space, you're going to do 3 double crochets. 2 and 3. Then you're going to do 6 double crochets. And again, you're working in the top of your double crochets that you had on your last round, and you're going to do this for the entire blanket. So you're going to do 6 double crochets down, and if it looks familiar, it's because it is. You do that exact same pattern for this entire blanket. So it's super easy once you get used to it, once you get started. And after a while, your blanket will come together quite quickly. It's really nice because you don't have to sew in a bunch of ends. You're not changing a bunch of colors. Okay, so you can see I have my chain 3 cluster right here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then now I'm going to do that triple crochet decrease. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and now pull through all 4 loops, doing the exact same thing. And then 6 double crochets, and then you're going to do 3 double crochets in the third one of the middle one on the last round, but it would be the very next space. So it's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then see, we've come up to our next cluster. So perfect, you have that space, it's the next space, you're going to do 3 in that. 2 and 3 all in the same space, and then you're just going to keep repeating. So this is what it is starting to look like on your chevron pattern. The more that you put together, the more you will notice the zigzag-like pattern. And I do, with my blankets that I've been making, I do 6 rounds or 6 rows of white, and then I change to one color. So for my boy blankets, I have been doing blue. And then, which is the one that's in this tutorial. So then I'll change my color over to blue, and I'll do 3 rounds of blue. Then I'll change back to white, do 6 rounds of white. And then I'll change to gray and do 3 rounds of gray, and then change back to white. And then I keep rotating between white, blue, white, gray. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you to go ahead and do your 6 rounds, or if you want to change more color into your blanket, you can just do 3 rounds of white and then just change a new color every single time that you do 3 rounds. Or you could do individual. You can just do 1 round every single time, change a color. You know, it's whatever you want to do. Every time you change colors, you're just going to have to, sew in your ends. So that'll be a little bit more time consuming, a little bit more work, but it will definitely give you a different kind of blanket. So go ahead and do however many rounds of white that you want. And then if you do not know how to change colors, I am going to show you that in the next spot, and then we'll move on to the little elephants for this tutorial. Okay, so we have come up to the very end of our first set of white. So I have done 6 total rounds. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can see that the blanket has that nice rippled effect. And so now we're going to change color. So changing color is super easy. So I have done my double crochet decrease, and what I do to change my colors is I grab my yarn and I kind of hold it tight to the other yarn that we're going to change the color with, and I grab it and I chain 3. And the reason why I chain 3 is because we always lose just a little bit. So when we pull tight and pull tight, I feel like it gets a little bit smaller, so you want your chain to be a little bit tighter. So what I do is I take my yarn and I tie a double knot. So when you make the first knot, don't tie it too super tight, just a little bit, and then just right down to the blanket, and then the next one you'll tie that knot a little bit tighter, and then clip off your white because you're not going to be using it until you switch colors again. And you will take a yarn needle and you'll put your tails and you'll work them into the yarn, and I'll do that at the end of my blankets. You can do that in the beginning every single time that you cut it, but I don't think that it's necessary, but it just depends on when you want to tie in your yarns. I just do mine all at the same time. So you're going to go off of your what almost looks like a chain 2, even though I technically chain 3. That first chain kind of gets lost when you tie your knot, so that's why I personally chain 3 when I switch colors. So then you're going to do a 7 double crochets. So again, just like the last ones, you skip that first space and then do 7 double crochets, and then you work in the exact same spaces, you do the exact same pattern that you did for the white, except for now it's blue. And then you will do this 3 rounds or 3 rows, and then you will change color back to white, and then you'll do your 6 rows of white, and then you'll change colors to gray, which is of course the exact same process. And you're just going to continue to do this until you complete the blanket, and then we will move on to the whatever you want the animal to be. So for this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and stop. I was going to add my elephant at the end of the tutorial, but since I've had so many requests for other creatures and animals that I am going to make this tutorial on the actual blanket itself separate, and then you can go and find my other tutorials on the different animals that you want. So I am going to do a separate video for the mommy elephant and baby elephant, and we will be able to, I will show you how to crochet them, basically sew them at the bottom of the blanket. And if you decide that you want this blanket to end up in a deer or another animal that I'm going to create soon, you can go and find that tutorial and choose whichever animal. They will all be super easy, and I can't wait to see the baby blankets that you guys make. Thank you guys.